Hello, today I want to talk about Silas from Zombicide Plague, who is definitely not inspired by Legolas, and why I think he's one of the more interesting ranged character I have in my collection. And it's all built around the first skill, +1 to the dice roll range. That means that when you roll a die, and let's say you roll a 3, in reality you actually roll a 4. Which makes it easier to hit on range attack. It's not a unique skill, but it's really helped to solidify you hitting the targets when you really need to. Especially if you're using something like a longbow with that hits on a 3, which actually make it so if you roll a 2, you actually roll a 3. Make it almost nearly impossible to miss. Which is, I think it's really cool. But what I think really makes him shine out is actually some of his other things, like the point blank range that makes him able to fight with his bow in melee range and not hit the other survivors, and his end game with Iron Rain, where instead of rolling the amount of dice that is on your arrow, ranged weapons like a longbow or a crossbow, you instead count how many zombies, like if you see over here, let's see if I can, here I have like 5 zombies in one zone. You will count 5 instead of that, and then roll that amount of dice instead. And all in all, he's just a really good archer. But why I think he's really interesting is his body slot, where you can place a weapon beside the armor, place something beside armor. You actually can place a sword. Meaning that if you build him, you can have like a bow in one hand, a torch in the other hand. I don't have a torch in my hand, or something like a spell, like healing or push or anything else. Basically making it so he has something before you getting point rank or taking the free range action to defend himself if things get up close and you have to fight with him, because it's always scary to fight with range actions in the field where other survivors is, because there's a chance you'll hit them. So having a sword there makes him, yes, he is not able to defend himself as well, but he literally have a weapon in his hand constantly, if you find it, of course. And of course the sword is like a very basic weapon. It's not anything super impressive, but it gets the job done. Next up, things that makes Ranger stand out from in Zombicide, Black Plague and Green Horde was that we got access to plenty of bolts and plenty of arrows. Something which they removed in the White Death, but that allows you to reroll your range attack. Making it so, as I said before, if you have a weapon with a low enough die roll like the longbow, it almost makes it impossible, even more impossible to miss. But unfortunately they removed those because ranged weapons just become better and better over the year. And yeah, this is Silas, the ranger I pretty much always use, because I've used him so many times that I'm just very happy. I think he's a really good all-around range character, because I think this is a really strong skill for anyone. Let's say it's anything else instead of range, of course that would just make it up. So this is his figurine, where you can see he's basically standing exactly like that, holding his sword and having his bow on his side. And yeah, this was my little quick interaction to who Silas is and what his 2 name skills does. Of course, he still has the +1 die range and 1 free combat action and 1 free range action, which if you don't need point blank or Iron Rain, you can go for instead. So yeah, have a nice day.